Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and today I am back finally with this Ellis Brooklyn Discovery Kit. I have had a chance to test every fragrance in here, and I definitely have thoughts, I have loves, I have dislikes, I have thoughts on them. So I'm excited. I'm going to jump right in. We've got 8 different fragrances here. I also have 2 other Ellis Brooklyn fragrances in my collection, the Bee as well as Sweet. I have talked about those and I have tested them. I'm going to tell you right up front that these fragrances do not perform well at all, not a single one. Actually, the only one that performed even halfway decent for me was the one I did not like, called Fable. But as far as every other one in here, they do not perform very well. Some of them, I think if you overspray them, you can probably get 6 to 8 hours out of them. But you will have to really overspray. I'm talking like 10 to 12 sprays on your skin, on your clothing, in your hair. You would have to spray it everywhere. And it would probably be loud for maybe 30 minutes. But I think that would be the only way to get good longevity out of any of these. These are all very, very safe fragrances aside from maybe 2. But yeah, I think Raven and West would be the 2 that I would say are maybe not completely safe. Fable might not be completely safe, but they're all pretty safe. These are all going to be crowd pleasers. Ellis Brooklyn is actually a clean fragrance brand. This line was created, I believe, in 2016 by a woman named Bee, which I think is why Bee is actually named Bee. It's named after the founder or the creator of the line or the house. And when she was pregnant, I think in 2016, she was dismayed by how few options there were in the perfume industry for clean, non-toxic fragrances that could be safely worn during pregnancy. So because of that, she created Ellis Brooklyn. Ellis is the name of her, I believe, her daughter. So, and Brooklyn, I think, is maybe where they were living at the time. I know she's from New York, so that's where the name comes from. But yeah, it is a clean brand, which is probably why it's probably made out of or using a lot of natural materials, which is probably why, or safe synthetics, which is probably why the longevity isn't there or the performance isn't there. So anyways, I'm going to start talking. I'm going to jump right in and we're going to talk about all of these fragrances. So the first one we're going to talk about is called Myth. And I'll try to hold it up so you guys can see. Okay. So this one is called Myth. This is a beautiful fragrance. Myth is very clean, crisp smelling. This smells like, it honestly smells like clean laundry to me. Yeah, soft, clean, very slightly floral, very slightly sweet. I wrote notes down for every single one as I tested them. Yeah, slightly floral, slightly fruity, soapy. It smells really beautiful. It's got a light musk, like a slight muskiness or like a light musk characteristic or quality. Yeah, so it's got like a slight muskiness to it. It's slightly sweet, clean, like I say, soapy. I will tell you though, in the deep dry, the stage right before the deep dry down of this one, so it wasn't like the deepest dry down yet, but right before getting to the deep dry down of this one, it did have a slight mature quality to it. It smelled just slightly mature on me. This reminds me a lot of Amazing Grace from Philosophy, like a lot. It's that kind of fragrance where it's this beautiful, clean, kind of it kind of does pull slightly mature, but in a comforting way. It's really beautiful. The performance on this one is really, really bad. I got maybe 2 hours out of it. I got maybe 2 hours out of most of these, but this one was particularly bad. The performance on this one, like I say, you'll get maybe a couple hours out of it. If you spray it on clothing, it helps. It lasts a little bit longer, but it still isn't wonderful. But it is a beautiful fragrance, very safe, very easy. It would be a crowd pleaser. You're just going to smell good. You're going to smell clean. You're going to smell just nice. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed this one, but the performance is terrible. I mean, I have Amazing Grace, and I may as well just use that because I think Amazing Grace actually performs even a little bit better than this one. It is a beautiful fragrance though, so that is Myth. The next one is a stunner. Oh my gosh, I love this one. This is called Rrose, and this is a beautiful, oh, this is so gorgeous. This is a beautiful, sweet, clean, crisp, modern, youthful, fruity rose. But the rose is very prominent. So the rose doesn't get drowned out by the fruits or the sweetness. It's this beautiful, crisp, fresh rose, but very, very modern. I loved this one. It was one of my absolute favorites. This one actually did not perform as bad as like the Myth either. This one I got more time out of. This is definitely like a 4 to 6 hour one, especially if you overspray it. If you spray it on clothing and hair and skin, you'll definitely get a good 6 hours out of this one. This one was not as bad as I expected it to be. It was actually one of the better performers in the bunch. This also has a slight soapiness to it. It's a clean rose. It's beautiful. I love it. This would be a rose for people that don't like rose. So that is Rrose. Next we have Fable. This is one of the ones that I really did not care for. Yeah, this one I really didn't care for. Only because of what it did on my skin. Now, on the paper, it smells better. On my skin, this ended up smelling somewhat like rotten fruit. This has got a lot of violet in it. It's citrusy, it's slightly sweet, but something about, like I say, the combination of notes in this one ended up kind of smelling like rotten fermented fruit on my skin. I didn't love it. This is probably the best performer in the bunch. This one you could probably easily get 6 to 8 hours out of, especially if you overspray. But I just didn't love this one. This also, to me, has this weird, almost like a cooling mint aspect to it, and I don't think it's got any mint in it at all. But it almost has this like coolness, like this coldness to it. And I almost get like mint vibes from it. I don't know. I don't love it. It's weird with the kind of sweet. And I don't even know if there's fruit in this. I think there is some fruit in this, but I don't know. It was just kind of a mess for me. I didn't love this one. That is Fable. Definitely my least favorite out of this bunch. Okay, this next one is probably my favorite. This next one is called Raven, and oh my gosh, you guys, I immediately, yeah, when I smelled this, I immediately was like, that smells like Tom Ford Noir de Noir, but like a lighter, creamier, like more well-rounded version of Tom Ford Noir de Noir. It's so stunning. I love this one so much. This one also lasts pretty good. This one, it's still turned into a skin scent on me in like after a couple hours, But I think if I really, really oversprayed this one, and I'm going to save this until next winter or when it starts to get cold out, and I'm going to test it and I'm going to really, really overspray it and see what happens. Not that I need another bottle of perfume that smells like this. I have the Club de Nuit Intense for Women from Armaf that smells hands down exactly like Noir de Noir. But there's something about this one. This is slightly sweeter and, like I say, more well-rounded. And I adore it so much. Yeah, it doesn't have Rrose listed in this, but I swear I smell Rrose. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's sweet, it's yummy, it's rich, it's warm. It's like everything you want in a beautiful, cozy fall winter fragrance. And Noir de Noir can be a little bit headache inducing for me sometimes. But this one is not. This one just has this, beautiful, creamy quality to it. I adore this. This is hands down my favorite from this entire bunch. I loved it. I fell hard for this to the point where I was like, I don't even care if it performs badly. I'm going to buy a full bottle. These are way overpriced for how badly they perform, but I will probably end up with a full bottle of this. So I love it. If you like Tom Ford Noir de Noir, but you're looking for something a little bit softer, a little bit sweeter, a little bit creamier, more well-rounded, oh my gosh, go for Raven. This smells amazing. So anyways, that is Raven. Okay, next we have got Rives. And yeah, this one does not last at all. Yeah, this one is a really bad performer. This one is super, super unisex. It's Neroli, so it's got that crisp green Neroli fragrance. To me, most Neroli fragrances all smell the same. And Neroli is very, very overpowering. Now, this does have some lavender in it, so you do get this beautiful kind of herbaceous lavender quality to it. But yeah, it's crisp, it's citrusy, it's Neroli. It's very, very unisex, very, very clean, very bright smelling. It's a typical Neroli fragrance. I mean, there's nothing unique about it. It's not groundbreaking. It's beautiful. This is one of the worst performers in this bunch, though. This one lasted like all of an hour before it turned into a hardcore skin scent, and then it was gone within 3 hours, completely gone. Like I could fully put on another perfume because this was gone. So anyways, that is Rives. Okay, next we've got Sci-Fi. This is another one of my favorites. I loved this one. Unfortunately, it does not last, so that is sad. Sci-Fi is gorgeous. So this one is fruity. I smell berries in this. This is slightly gourmand. It's like on the edge of smelling edible. Like a beautiful berry pie or something is what it smells like in the opening. And then it dries down. You've got some vanilla. This smelled so good on my skin too. This is another one I'm going to wait until cooler weather. Even though I think this one would be perfect for all year, this would do perfectly fine in heat as well. Actually, I'll probably test it in both, on a really hot day and then in the cold. But I love this. This is berries, and really that's what I get from it. Citruses and berries and vanilla. It smells like a beautiful, like if you guys know, if you guys have those like a Marie Callender's around you, or you can get the frozen Marie Callender's pies, that one that is like triple berry, it's like raspberry and blueberry and blackberries, I think. That's exactly what this smells like to me. Like when that pie is like hot and you just smell all of that, like all of those hot, tart berries. That's what this smells like. Oh my gosh, it is so, so good. Yummy citruses, beautiful berries, yummy vanilla. It's like something you want to eat. It's not terribly far removed from Philosophy Falling in Love. It's that kind of a fragrance. I love it. It was one of my favorites, but the performance on this one was so bad. I'm going to keep trying this one though, because it's one that if I can make it work somehow, I will buy a full bottle. So that is Sci-Fi. Okay, next we have got Fawn. Yes, Fawn. This is beachy. This is a beach flower, salt, coconut, beachy type fragrance. This reminds me a lot of like Korloff Gold or my Viktor and Rolf Salty Flower. That's actually what this really reminds me of, is the Viktor and Rolf Salty Flower. It's beautiful, it's crisp, it's got those, like I say, the beach florals, the salt, the citruses, the coconut. It's such a beautiful beach fragrance. Like if you were looking for like an alternative to beachy flower or to salty flower, this would be a good alternative. It's a typical beach fragrance though. Performance on this one was not horrible. It wasn't as bad as some of the others, but I still only got maybe 3 to 4 hours out of it. So it's like not the best, but it's not the worst of this bunch either. It was definitely one of the better performers in this discovery kit. So I really loved this one. It's gorgeous. Like I say, it smells a lot like Viktor and Rolf Salty Flower. It's a beautiful beach fragrance. So that is Fawn. Yeah, or Fawn, it smells like Soleil Blanc. Honestly, that's what it smells like. It smells very, very much like Soleil Blanc, but more like the Eau de Soleil Blanc that doesn't have the heavy pistachio note in it. It's more like the original, or I'm sorry, like the Eau de Soleil Blanc, which is a little bit fresher, crisper, more floral heavy. Really beautiful. So anyways, that is Fawn. And then last but not least, we have West. And yeah, I did not like this one at all. Behind Fable, this was my second least favorite. I really, really didn't like this. This has a weird, crisp green note. This has basil in it, and it's got ginger in it. And those are the two most prominent notes. So you get a really strong basil note and a really strong ginger note. You get like kind of a weird heat from the ginger too. And then this really, really strong, crisp, green basil note. And that's really all I get out of this. It's very, very green. I think this is like their answer to a green perfume. And it's just not my cup of tea. I'm not a huge fan of green fragrances anyways, but this one is just very strong basil, very strong ginger, and whew, I don't love it. Now, I will tell you, this is one of the better performers in this kit. This one I definitely got like a good 4 to 6 hours out of, to my dismay, because I did not love this. I was like, oh, I hate the way I smell the whole time I was wearing this. So yeah, it definitely is one of the better performers in this. So yeah, that is West, not my favorite. I did not love it. Yeah, it's definitely unisex too. That one is very, very unisex. It's crisp, it's green, it's citrusy. Yeah, not my favorite. So anyways, guys, that is the Ellis Brooklyn Library Discovery Kit. I tested them all. My final thoughts on them are there are 2 in here that if I can somehow figure out how to make them work, I will buy full bottles of. That is Raven and Sci-Fi. I love them so much. They are so good. Everything else is kind of a pass for me though. The longevity is just problematic for me because these are very expensive in my opinion for what they are. I just feel like if you're paying $100+ for a bottle of perfume, you should be able to spray it on once in the morning and get yourself through at least an 8-hour workday. That's just my opinion. There are cheaper fragrances on the market. There are celebrity fragrances on the market. There are $20 fragrances on the market that smell like some of these, and that you can get a lot more bang for your buck out of, if that's a good way to put it. So yeah, I don't think that any of these are a need for anybody. The two that I love, I absolutely love. They're probably the two most unique fragrances in here. And yeah, I love them. I will keep you updated on whether or not I get full bottles of them. You'll see at some point. But yeah, so that is the Ellis Brooklyn Library. I hope that you all enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.